Interestingly, in the last few months, various people across the world have reported seeing unidentified objects falling slowly to the ground, leaving a large trail of smoke. This in turn has caused eyewitnesses to call police and report that something is in distress. Investigators who arrive on the scene, thinking that it's a plane and that they will need further assistance, are surprised to find nothing in the area to indicate that something was in trouble. One of these objects was recently spotted above England, with footage showing a large object leaving behind a smoke trail. Those who saw it detailed that it looked as though something was on fire and described it as an unidentified object that was dark in colour. One resident by the name of Miss Jefferies was able to capture clear photographs of the incident. She said the following: "This is what we captured on the same day and time. We live in Hilperton Trowbridge. We too thought it was an aircraft, but what grabbed our attention was how it was falling vertically straight down at such a slow speed. It was just bizarre. I would love to find out what it was. It was the strangest thing we have ever seen." My friend's husband said the International Space Station crew were docking that day, so perhaps it could be debris from that. There was something so strange about it that we stopped to watch. I didn't want to worry my children, so before taking photographs, I just said it could be something amazing falling from space. I think that's why my son didn't seem at all worried. My youngest did come downstairs at bedtime crying because he was frightened, not knowing what it was. He calmed down eventually." End quote. Interestingly, other people living close to the area said that they also witnessed it, and again described the object as falling slowly, but said that they couldn't make out what the object was. A man by the name of Mr. Craddock said that the mysterious object fell for over 20 minutes, and that the vapour trail it was giving off was a dark black colour. He said that his friends in London also saw the object. One police officer commented on a post that shared the photograph and said the following: "This incident was investigated by officers in the region, and although we could see an object falling to the ground, no one came forward to report a crash. Sometimes these objects can be explained away as things like skydivers or even aeroplanes, but in this case, it did look like something was falling to the ground. My family that lives 25 miles away sent me photographs of the event, and I have to admit, I've never seen anything like it before. It was very bizarre." End quote. Shortly after the photographs were released online, a worker from the United Kingdom's aviation unit said that it was most likely a plane, and that due to the angle of it, the object appeared to be falling from the sky. Many didn't buy this explanation, though, and said that for the past few years these strange objects have been reported across countries. Oddly enough, after looking through gathered data, researchers have said that the United Kingdom is a hotspot when it comes to mysterious sightings, and detail that hundreds of mysterious aircrafts have been spotted since the early 1940s, which has caused officials to conduct further research into the aircrafts to try and determine what they are and where they're coming from. The mysterious surveillance object. On the 5th of August, back in 2010, the Royal Air Force released a series of documents surrounding reported sightings of unidentified objects, with additional documentation about a specific incident 50 years prior that Winston Churchill himself banned the reporting of, out of fear that the story could create mass panic and lead to the degradation of society. The banned reports claim that on the 5th of August back in 1944, a Royal Air Force reconnaissance aircraft was returning from an undisclosed surveillance mission from France or Germany. However, while travelling over the English coastline, the surveillance crew claimed to have been suddenly intercepted by what each crew member described as a peculiar metallic object that began to match their aircraft's course and speed alongside them, before the object quickly accelerated into the distance and disappeared entirely. As the craft had hovered alongside their plane, several members of the crew rapidly began taking a series of photographs of the object to later verify their claims, as they possessed the equipment necessary to take higher quality images and gather sensitive data of enemy aircraft. However, as they began this documentation, they claimed that something appeared to be off about the unidentified object, as the unknown craft appeared to emit no sound or use any form of known propulsion to generate its lift. According to the released documents, any proof of the object gathered by the team has been completely destroyed or lost. Given this strange development, many believe that the event was covered up in its entirety, with researchers coming forward, including one man that wrote to the government back in 1999, claiming that his father had overheard the event while in a meeting alongside Winston Churchill and the then American President Dwight D. Eisenhower. The United Kingdom has investigated mysterious aircrafts in the past. The most well-known investigation was known as Project Condeen, which was conducted by the British Ministry of Defence's intelligence staff between 1997 and 2000. The purpose of the investigation was to determine whether these mysterious aircraft sightings posed a threat to national security, and whether they could be attributed to any known technology or natural phenomena. The Project Condeen report, which was released to the public in 2006, concluded that the majority of sightings could be attributed to misidentifications of known objects or phenomena, such as aircraft, balloons, or meteorological events. However, the report also acknowledged that a small percentage of sightings could not be easily explained and might require further investigation. The British Ministry of Defence also maintained a reporting and investigation system called the Unidentified Object Desk until it was closed in 2009. Interestingly, since then, various workers have come forward and said that evidence has been tampered with, and that various sightings that couldn't be explained weren't included in these files. As of right now, the British Ministry of Defence has stated that it would continue to investigate any credible reports of mysterious aircrafts that might have national security implications. All around the world, there appears to be a number of strange occurrences that seem to create a manipulation in both space and time. These strange occurrences have come to be known as different instances of time travel and time slips in our reality that not only causes unexplainable phenomena to surface, but can change our very perspective on the nature of our world. Various people have shared their own stories of these glitches, and it led to various pages being set up so that people can share their mysterious encounters. Just recently, an interesting video was shared on social media, and since being uploaded, it has gained hundreds of thousands of views. The user who uploaded the footage said that the event was like a glitch in the Matrix, and explained that thousands of birds were flying around in circles. The uploader said that the video was taken in Flatwoods, West Virginia, and that she had never seen this many birds in one area before. Those who saw the video said that the birds looked disorientated. One person said the following: "I've seen this type of behavior before, and it's usually when something has happened nearby. For example, in my case, it was that the birds in my region were allegedly poisoned, and it caused them to act like this." End quote. What's strange is that in the last few years, this isn't the first time that events like these have been reported, and it's caused some to ask why these birds are acting this way. A few months back, several news outlets reported that something was happening to birds in various different countries, noting that they couldn't explain why so many of them were dropping out of the skies. This caused people to come forward on social media and detail their personal stories. Oddly enough, it's not just one species that's being affected. Researchers who have been studying these birds and who have tried to get to the bottom of what's going on have explained that thousands of birds in the eastern United States are falling out of the sky, with some of these events even being captured by onlookers. It's led researchers to suggest that something big is happening right now, but after collecting the data and inspecting these birds up close, scientists have said that they are no closer to understand why this is happening, and said they are worried because it's happening in various places across the world, including England, Wales, Ireland, Australia, Turkey, Egypt, and various other countries. As of right now, the scientists who are looking into this have ruled out some of the most common culprits, but said they can't seem to get to the bottom of what's going on. The mysterious event was first recorded in Virginia and Maryland in May of 2021, but wildlife experts have said that within the last few months, reports are spreading all throughout the country. One scientist from the Hampshire Nature Reserve located in England said the following when asked whether radio frequency radiation could be behind this strange behavior. "Yes, radio frequency radiation can affect birds. Radiofrequency radiation is a type of non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation that is emitted by wireless communication devices such as cell phones, Wi-Fi routers, and radio and television transmitters. Studies have shown that exposure to radiofrequency radiation can affect birds' behavior, physiology, and reproductive success. For example, radiofrequency radiation exposure has been linked to changes in birds' migratory behavior, changes in their feeding patterns, and a reduction in their ability to navigate using Earth's magnetic field. Radiofrequency radiation exposure has also been shown to affect the reproductive success of birds, including a reduction in the number of eggs laid and a decrease in the survival rate of chicks. End quote. Chelsea Jones, a spokesperson for the Animal Welfare League of Arlington, Virginia, said the following. In May 2022, we started to realize that something unusual was going on. We have received 300 birds so far, but that is just counting the deceased birds. The real total is much higher. End quote. As of right now, further tests are being conducted in order to get to the bottom of why this keeps happening. Staying on the subject of mysterious events, the USS Eldridge has long caught the attention of those interested in the unknown. Referred to by many as the Philadelphia Experiment, the strange military experiments surrounding that of the United States military, creating an electromagnetic bubble around the large naval vessel known as the USS Eldridge, helped to create one of the strange, anomalous properties of our world. Originally designed to create completely radar-invisible ships by bouncing radar waves around the ship. These experiments would go on to create a warped space-time field around the ship and transport it through time and space, ending up in different areas of the world, and even sending 2 men through time in an effort to fix the timeline. Although the stories surrounding the Philadelphia experiment span many different accounts and decades worth of government cover-up and intervention, it eventually led to one of the men sent through time, Ed Cameron, coming into contact with humans of the far future as they were preparing to stop a cataclysmic event that was thought to be able to wipe out all life on the planet. Interestingly enough, despite these events having occurred back in the early 1950s, Ed Cameron would go on to make several startling premonitions about the future, including that of color televisions in the future, and even of future events such as that of hospital conditions, medicine, emerging technologies surrounding hospitals, as well as changes in the political map in the future. The majority of these findings were during his time spent in a hospital after being sent into the future of the late 1980s, and spending a large amount of his time during this period watching television, baffled by the technology of the future. This would later lead to the further written witness accounts of a man by the name of Al Bielek, of whom claimed to have been the reincarnated Ed Cameron, and was able to piece together many of the claims and questions surrounding that of Ed Cameron. He would go on to create a 3-hour-long tell-all video that he would post to YouTube before his passing, in which he not only further explained the science behind the Philadelphia experiment, but went into the strange future sightings of humanity, as well as the terrible cataclysmic event that is believed to occur in the year 2843, that will end all life on our planet as we know it.
A discovered 1.8 billion-year-old nuclear reactor. Back in 1972, when a large amount of uranium ore was mined from the Oklo mine located out in the country of Gabon, a small nation found in Central Africa, scientists began to test the uranium deposits to catalogue the amount of recovered uranium-235 that was gathered from the site and could be used for ongoing efforts of nuclear fission and nuclear reactors. Unfortunately, they quickly realised that a substantial amount of uranium-235 was missing from the ore deposits, as uranium-235 naturally forms a solid concentration of 0.072%, but found a significant amount lacking from the mined minerals. As they investigated the situation, believing that perhaps more than 200 kilograms had been stolen, they quickly realised that located near the mined location was the perfect conditions to form a believed to be naturally forming nuclear reactor that is dated to be roughly 1.8 billion years old. Scientists claim that the uranium ore was used up when a naturally formed cavern using groundwater to help stabilise the nuclear reaction was discovered underground. Theorists, however, have an alternative explanation. Given the fact that the specifications required to form a naturally made nuclear reactor require specific storage of the uranium-235, the continued influx of water and a number of steps to prevent the compounds from becoming superheated, It is believed that the location is not naturally formed and rather the use of a primitive nuclear reactor by time-traveling humans needed to create a substantial amount of energy. Today, the claim is widely debated as one of the key pieces of evidence of time-traveling humans and their influence on the past.
Are shadow people time travelers? Shadow people sound a bit creepy, right? They are defined as supernatural shadow-like humanoid figures that, according to believers, are seen flickering on walls and ceilings in the viewer's peripheral vision. Shadow people are considered as entities of the underworld, but those who have experienced them are not sure whether they are evil, helpful, or just there. Scientists have tried to offer explanations for the phenomena. For example, some researchers conclude that seeing shadow figures are simply symptoms of sleep paralysis or deprivation, and others have noted that drug addicts are more likely to experience these sorts of hallucinations. Alternatively, they can simply be the mind playing tricks on somebody who's experiencing a heightened sense of alert, for example, when you're walking down a dark alley at night. However, some people are convinced that shadow people are actually apparitions of time travelers. They think that the reason that they are only in shadow form is because we, on Earth, can't clearly see the future and therefore find it hard to see these figures. Instead of being supernatural or devilish creatures, they are actually just people from other dimensions. They also don't seem to be taking any notice of the people that see them, therefore fitting in with the common time travel theme. Often when time traveling, the person experiencing it is not noticed by anybody else. The thing is, this is all heavily disputed, and the scientific explanations are well weighted in their favor. We'll never know for sure if shadow people are time travelers or not, or even real. But one thing is for sure: the human imagination is a powerful thing. Time travel sounds amazing, and if the people we've spoken about today did experience another dimension, then in some ways they are incredibly lucky. Just imagine what we could do for the world if we could access information from the future. We could cure diseases, save the environment, and prevent wars. Time travel is something that everybody has thought about from time to time, and if it is one day developed and isn't just something out of a sci-fi movie, then we reckon that the human race is in for a bewildering experience. So, what do you make of these mysterious topics? And why do you think that so many birds have been reported dropping to the ground? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.